Hi guys, and welcome to another video, and welcome to the review of the Sunderland Sheffield Wednesday game in the League Cup first round, where we have been knocked out by 2-0. Now, if you asked me before the game, and a lot of you guys did ask me before the game, and I did predict a 2-0 loss, which, I don't feel good about at all. But I also said that, I hope a few of the youngsters get a shout. Molyneux, he come on late on. Embleton got a game from the start. Denver Hume got a game. And I wanted the youngsters to get, a bit of game time. It gives the sort of first teamers a little bit of a rest, even though we don't really have that much, that many players to play with to give too many players a rest. But we did manage to get a few youngsters on the pitch. But I also wanted us to, go down with a fight if we were to lose, which obviously we have done. But I'm still feeling a little bit sour because of the way that we did lose, I suppose, but we will get into it. We'll get into the review. So the first half kicks off, and I'm expecting Sheffield Wednesday to come at us and come at us and come at us, but it was the completely opposite way around. We dominated the first, at least sort of half an hour of the game. We're playing brilliant football in terms of little triangles. We're keeping the ball really, really well. We're just not making chances. The difference today was that one team had strikers and the other one didn't. Do you know what I mean? And I know it's an argument that's probably going to come up from me over and over again for the next few games until we do get the likes of Wyke back on the pitch. Well, I say back, we haven't seen him on the pitch yet, have we? But yeah, so we're playing brilliant football, probably some of the best football I've seen at this stage of my life in, since the better days of the Premier League. And that, I know that sounds like I'm bigging it up a bit too much, but even when we were, just scraping safety in the Premier League, we didn't really have a personality to our game. We were hoofing the ball up top constantly when we had the likes of Defoe, which was awful to watch. Defoe did amazingly, obviously, because he managed to get goal after goal after goal, considering the shite service he was getting. But we had no personality to us at all. Whereas now, under Jack Ross, you're starting to see it. We're keeping the ball on the ground. We're looking really good. We just don't have that bite in the final third right now. Maguire, he was playing up top today. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit because obviously we are going to be lacking a striker for the next 2 or 3 weeks. It has been confirmed. Charlie Wyke has said that he's not going to be back for another 2 to 3 weeks, which is a bit confusing because I'm sure it was 1 or 2 weeks ago when we were told that that's how long he was going to be out for. But anyway, that's by the by. Several times again, we did manage to play some fantastic football. Denver Hume, I think he had a very good game. There's a couple of times where he was coming in from the right and he'd play a sort of death through ball down the right hand side. He'd come inside and then play it back out and play through ball down to whoever was on the ball. Honeyman, for example, get down to the byline. I'm thinking, yes, he's going to get the ball in. Then I look across to the box. There's no one there. Maguire's just gently jogging towards the edge of the box, and there's just no point at that point. What's the point? That's not me slating Maguire. He's just not a natural striker. He's an attacking midfielder. So I was thinking, there's no way we can get a goal. The only way I could see us scoring was from a set piece, because then it gives the chance of Ozturk, who I'll get onto as well in a minute, and Baldwin. It gives the defenders, the bigger lads, a chance to get into the box and cause some trouble. But then when we did get any free kicks or corners, I don't think Maguire should be taking them, personally. I think in shooting positions, yes, Maguire should be taking them. He's good at that. He actually had a chance right towards the end of the game, had a free kick on the edge of the box, and it fizzed just past the post. But for when we needed a good delivery in, he can't beat the first man. It was the same against Charlton. It was the same against Luton. He can't cross the ball from a set piece. I don't know what it is. He just can't beat the first man to save his life. So Maguire should be taken off. Free kicks, personally, in those kind of positions anyway. Crossing positions. Maybe sit him on the edge of the box in case, he can pick up some scraps. But I think Embleton actually changed to free kicks in the sort of crossing positions after about the hour mark, and they looked a lot more dangerous. And I'm buzzing that Embleton got a shout anyway for this game, because I really, really rate Embleton. I'm a big, big fan of Embleton, and he weren't half bad, to be fair. But for the goal, completely against the run of play, Sheffield Wednesday did surprise me. I thought they would be, going for it and going for it and going for it, but they were just lumping balls up to Stephen Fletcher all day long, which, if you have that outlet, then you have that outlet. You're probably going to use it. They were just lumping balls up to Stephen Fletcher. He'd be knocking balls on to Matthias, I think it is. They'd be trying that quite a lot, and half the time it weren't coming off. They weren't threatening us in any way, shape or form. But anyway, ball gets put through. Ozturk shielding it. He's waiting for McLaughlin to come and get the ball, but McLaughlin, he's made it quite clear that he's not coming for the ball, and he's still holding it off and holding it off and holding it off, and he's facing his own goal. Just hoof the ball away, man. Ozturk, who's now becoming a massive liability, instead of just hoofing the ball away, you know, he's got the striker here, you've got Matthias on his shoulder here, and instead of just hoofing the ball the opposite way and getting it out, you know, to safety, he's tried to do some kind of bloody step over and then turn into the same direction the man's going. The absolute frigging clown. And he loses the ball, and they took it away easily. After that, such a strong start from the lads, he just completely messed it up, big time. And after that goal, we just looked a bit deflated for a good 5-10 minutes after that. Sheffield Wednesday was sort of controlling it a little bit. They were keeping on the ball a bit better, and we weren't really closing down as much. We were just kind of allowing them to play a bit. But then we'd come back into it again. Towards the back end of the first half, we had chances again, but we're not testing the goalkeeper. I can't remember us testing the goalkeeper once in this game at all. We're just playing, you know, plenty of decent football, getting a few half chances, you know, whipping balls into the box in decent positions, but then no one's getting on the end of it. And that was pretty much it for the first half. And I was pretty gutted, you know, if Sheffield Wednesday were coming at us and coming at us and coming at us, and they were dominating, but we were defending really well, then that was the kind of game I was expecting. But we didn't get that at all. It was a very decent performance, particularly in the first half. Second half kicks off, and it's more of the same, really. Sheffield Wednesday didn't really seem too much of a threat. They were more of a counter-attacking side. We were having chances. Well, I say chances, but we didn't. We didn't test it again. We didn't test the goalkeeper at all. It was just more of the same sort of little triangle, nice, pretty little passing, but then we get to the final third and we look pretty clueless. We'll get into a very good position in the final third, and there's just nothing, there's no outlet at all. And then, you know, we brought Gooch on, Catmull came off, and to be fair, I need to say about Cats, he had a pretty decent game. He weren't half bad at all, and, you know, I'm not going to slight him. He weren't half bad. He did quite well for us defensively, although, you know, his passing, it's never been fantastic. There was a good 4 or 5 times where his passing was just a little bit off, or he's putting us in a little bit of danger with his passing. But other than that, he did actually play really well. So, you know, hats off to him. I'm not going to slight him for that. Gooch, come on, try and give us a little bit of, you know, energy up top. But, you know, there's things in Gooch now that, you know, I know everyone's loving him at the minute because of that goal he scored against Charlton. And I'm a massive fan of him, but in these videos, I need to be 100% honest and say what I think as well. Gooch, particularly against Luton, or the back end of the Luton game, and in this one when he did come on, he's reminded me more and more of McGeady. You know, he'll be running at a player, but, you know, he needs to understand that if it's not going to come off, if you're not going to beat your man, if you know that you don't have enough time to whip the ball into the box, there's no harm in turning back and playing it to another player who's awaiting, you know, behind you. There's no problem with that. But there was 2 or 3 times already in the short time that he did have on the pitch that he just didn't bloody release the ball, man. He's constantly trying to do a step over, and he'll either lose it or he'll just, or the, you know, the cross or the pass or to get into the box, it'll get blocked and we'll win a throw in, which, you know, by the by. But if there's other players in better positions, you need to give the ball, man. I think I don't know. He's just getting a bit too over his head a little bit, or he's trying to take on too much. I don't know, but I think he does need to calm down in that sense. You know, every time he gets the ball, he does look like a brilliant threat. But it's just the decision-making of when to try and take a man on and when to turn back and pass the ball on. I think he was struggling with that a little bit. But, you know, he didn't have too much of a chance to really do much today, so I can't really slate him, which I'm not going to do, because I'm a big fan of Gooch, and I'm quite looking forward to see how well he progresses, particularly this season in this league. But then Sheffield Wednesday do get themselves a corner, whipped in, Denver Hume, he's lost his man really. The Sheffield Wednesday player, the goal scorer, he's run across him. Denver Hume is probably a bit of inexperience with that. He was a bit too slow to follow his man, get the right side of his man. He's lost him, it's been headed into the bottom left-hand corner, and it's 2-0, and at that point it is game over, because there was no outlet for us to even attempt to score. Madja did come on. It looked a little bit more dangerous. He was in slightly better positions. There were a couple of times where he nearly did fall to Madja, but it was just a bit of miscontrol and little things like that, and it didn't really fall for him. But that was really it. We had a free kick right at the end of the game, which I mentioned earlier, which Maguire hit sort of just over or wide, and that was pretty much it. And I think, you know, if I was actually prepared to sort of have a bit of a big rant after that, you know, that scoreline, because of how well we did actually play. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's the League Cup. I didn't really care too much about it beforehand. You know, it'd be nice to have a little bit of a run, of course it would. But then at the same time, we have a tiny squad, and we need to focus on the league big time, which was my attitude beforehand as well. So, you know, I'm not going to be heartbroken by it. I'm quite you know, enthusiastic about the way we played, considering, you know, the youngsters we had on the pitch, the inexperience we had on the pitch, and, you know, and we still managed to keep the ball down and play some decent football. We just need a striker or two. That's all we need. And I think we could end up rinsing League One. If we play the way we did tonight, and we have a striker on the pitch, a proper striker on the pitch, you know, and I think we'll rinse League One personally. I didn't expect us to play this kind of football. I'm so used to watching us hoof the ball and not really having personality to our game. You know, I think we could, you know, piss League One if we do keep this kind of momentum going, or this kind of performance at this kind of level. So yeah, it did finish 2-0, and it is, you know, disappointing, but we managed to see a little bit of players that we might not see as much in the league, like Embleton and Hume. Hume, again, I think he was one of our better players. He was very threatening coming from the full-back position. Reece James played today. I think he was half decent as well. Now, Ozturk, God, you know, I was going absolutely mad when that goal went in. I was absolutely livid, considering the, you know, the way we were playing. It looked like there was only going to be one winner, and that was us. And then Ozturk goes and does that. You know, we've only seen, you know, very little of Ozturk, and every game he seems to be making mistakes. The first 45 minutes against Charlton, opening day of the season, he looked absolutely shocking. He looked like he'd never played football in his life. To be fair to him, he improved in the second half against Charlton. And now today, where, you know, I keep saying I'm not going to slate players too much, but with him today, you weren't actually having a half-bad game, but they're just little bits and pieces, and you question his ability, because obviously that mistake he made was absolutely ridiculous. I might expect that from, you know, one of the more inexperienced youngsters. There was a few times where, you know, he should have just headed the ball away, you know, in the box, in a dangerous position for Sheffield Wednesday, and he's just headed it directly into the air, just leaving us in the shit. It just, I don't know what it is. I think it just looked like he's winging it a little bit at times. I think Baldwin saved his arse a few times today, and Baldwin did have a pretty decent game. But all in all, I am very pleased with the performance in terms of, you know, the way we were playing the ball around. We're just absolutely desperate for a striker. I think Madger isn't enough in this league. Maguire isn't a striker. He did have a good game, to be fair to him. He does have a good bit of flair. He's definitely a technical player. But I think to stick him up front on his you know, on his own, on his Todd, it's not going to work. He's only a short lad as well. So it's not like we can ping balls up to him like Sheffield Wednesday were doing to, you know, Fletcher all day. But, you know, again, I'm going to take the positives from it. It's not a bad performance at all. So yeah, I think that's about it, guys. So in the comments, you let me know what you think about the game. Did you enjoy the video? Please hit the like button for me if you did. That'd be massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already, to become a fully fledged member of the Sarnie Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.